Hi guys, Steve here. So, the devs spotted surprises with Scorched Earth. This is a paid DLC of a game that's not even been released yet. Now normally I'd think the devs are taking a piss, but I originally only spent £23 on the game, and I've been playing it for over 2,500 hours. So really, it's one of the best value for money games I've ever brought. And paying a bit extra for the DLC seemed okay to me. And for the last week I've been working my nuts off playing it. This game is much harder than the original one, with the environment killing you off all the time. It's scorching hot in the daytimes, but freezing cold at night. Then you've got the added dangers of sandstorms, electrical storms, lack of water, lack of resources, no explants, your generators get damaged constantly, most of the normal dinosaurs are missing so you can't make kibble, there's no quetzals to transport or farm, but on top of all that you've got huge rock golems and wyverns trying to kill you. So yeah, it's quite a bit harder, and it's even more of a time sink than the original game. It's been a year since I began on a new server, and I thought the experience of starting the game would help me understand what you guys go through as a new player. We started off by building a base around the water vein, as water's scarce and you'll die of thirst from the heat. Then we built a well on it to gather more water. I planned everything out in thatch, then started to replace everything with new adobe structures. At this point we didn't know it was weaker than the normal stone ones, or that adobe helps protect against the heat. We built a basic irrigation system from a well to the Y plants, and placed them in the corners to cover all sides. At this point we didn't know that Y plants were virtually useless. They don't shoot at or grab anything, but they produce spores that you collect, put on the ground and use as temporary man traps. Next we tamed a mauler top. These are herbivore-like camels, that mainly gather berries, but thatch and a bit of wood too. Also, if you take them to the well, they'll drink, so you can use them as a portable water supply. To scout the area, next we tamed a moth. I boloed it to stop it flying away. They only last a short time and then it tries to escape. Then narco arrowed and punched it until it passed out. Things were going okay. The base was growing after many hours of farming. We'd tamed another moth, an ankylo and a dodec. Then we started work on a large dino pen, as those were our most valuable assets. We managed to get 3 walls up, and there's just one more and then the roof. But because it's been so long since I started a game like this, I forgot the most important rule of joining a PvP server. To always be ready to defend yourself. I was playing too relaxed, just concentrating on building, and would build virtually no weapons at all. So when 3 raiders turned up with a Carno, 2 Argents and grenades, we didn't stand much of a chance. They killed all our dinos and then cleaned us out, then kept coming back every hour or so to stop us building up. Later we moved to the blue obelisk and started building, but then we got attacked by a swarm of Chinese raiders. I wanted to do a Let's Play series, but this is just wasting my time. So we decided to move server. We went to the same spot again and I put 2 foundations and a large storage box down. I wanted somewhere to store all the items, and don't forget to pin it so people can't steal from you. Next I started work on the main house placement. I'm going to build it in full stone this time because adobe is a lot weaker. We have a ramp up to our plateau, so I aligned the building with it to have good visibility and be able to shoot down from the windows above. On the last server we built one big room, so when the raiders blew out one wall they had access to everything. So on this one we're going for a compartmented design, where each utility is split into its own room section. That way if raiders blow out a wall with grenades, they'll only be able to gain access to that small room, and not the entire structure. We finished the storage area, then placed a bed there for when we die, which is a lot when you're first starting off. Then I created a separate room for the refinery. I move it to the side so I can put mortars the other. I'll just check it's not sticking out the back. No, that's fine. Then I enclosed it. Sometimes it gets so hot in Scorched Earth, the only way to survive is stay in the tent. It's a tight fit. That's what she said.
Cool. We go.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's only one she here, so.
6 of us in a tent. Dear God.
Piggo's a male, by the way. When we finished the refinery, we started work on the smithy room. After a few hours, the base was coming along fairly well. It had got longer with the different rooms we had added. And I built an adobe corridor at the side to hide the doors. Then at the end I built a square box to hide the dinosaurs in. We didn't have the materials to build a dino gate yet, so we would just wall it off when we went to bed. I'll quickly show you inside, as a base design might help protect you against raiders. We have a smithy, a mortar and pestle, above that our bed to spawn at, plus some storage boxes to keep torches in case you spawn at night. The refinery, our storage room, what we started with, and the bed to spawn at. This door takes us outside to the water vane. This is going to be another storage room. And this is where we're temporarily keeping our dinos at the moment. We had somebody steal the fertiliser out of one of the crop plots, so I decided to put spikes on it until it grew. Again, at a time I didn't know these Y plants were completely useless. I've also started laying out more thatch foundations. That'll show me how large I can build the base. The plants can grow in that. When I finished that, we carried on the normal grind for meat and hide. As we were doing this, one of the Y plants finished growing, so we decided to test it. You take the spores out of the crop plot and then place them on the ground. Walk in it, see what happens.
Okay. Nothing, I guess. Nothing for allies.
Kick me out of the tribe for a second and let's test it if you want to.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, just boot me for a second and then
Yeah, they are almost invisible. That is creepy. That is just creepy.
Try and move.
Yeah, try to move around. You lose any health or anything?
That dealt about 20 damage and it completely immobilized me.
Interesting.
One sec, let me see if I can stab. Okay, so I can still stab.
Oh, yeah, you can break it up.
I can also destroy it as well.
It would be okay if it permanently stayed there, but they decay over time, so there's no point laying a minefield down. Next we carried on gathering resources, the dodeck to get the stone and sand, and the camels to transport it back to base. While we were doing this, there were a couple of reports in Global that a pathetic tribe was going around with 2 Rexers, wiping people out in thatch, wood and stone buildings. We knew it would be only a matter of time before they came to us, so we tried to build up our dino pen to protect our creatures. We'd just tamed our first Argent, but the only weapons we had were bows and arrows. We were in the process of taming our first Carno, a wolf, then later we scraped enough metal together to build our first long neck rifle, and a few bullets. And that's when they attacked. See how our Stone Age tribe fights against overwhelming odds, against what we find out later is a metal tech tribe, with lots of T-Rexers. It's good, and you'll find it quite amusing. They certainly didn't expect what happened when they raided us. Goodbye.